Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today's phrase is actually a quote from Carl Jung, and it says, "I'd rather be whole than good." Go ahead and pause the video now and reflect on it. Try to find any meaning or value or what you think about this, what you make about this quote, and unpause the video when you're ready. Hello, and welcome back, everybody. I hope your mental labor was fruitful. I hope it helped you think through things, gather any type of value, any type of insight or meaning that you have out of this. So I want to jump straight into it. So by Carl Jung, the very first thing off is that obviously there is obviously an implication when he says I'd rather be whole than good. That comes with the implication that he wants to keep essentially, if there is good and evil parts of us, that he essentially wants to be whole by keeping and maintaining the evil parts of himself. So he wants to keep essentially the good and evil parts. And that's kind of the implication I get out of this statement. And I think the important thing about this is that if you go into the essentially the semantics of the word good, good can mean a lot of different things. And good can definitely be like kind of manipulative word. Typically when people use the word good, they usually mean that this person acts or does things the way that I want them to do it. It's not necessarily that they're good in a sense of morality, that they're a good person, they do good acts or anything. It's more so typically that good means they do what I want them to do. And Carl Jung has a concept of the shadow, which is essentially what he believes to be the evil parts, the bad or evil, whatever word you want to ascribe to that. And I think that the important part of his concept of the shadow is that it's not necessarily evil in the way that we think of evil. It's more like a ability or like a capacity to do evil. So in us, we all contain good and evil parts of us. Like we all have the desire to help other people, to better other people's lives, but we also have evil parts of us that want to do harm, do malicious things, petty things. Like, how many people do you know that just most of their time they talk about other people? It's typically like gossip. I would say that's like an evil part of people. It's a malicious thing. You're trying to essentially do harm to somebody, you harm to someone's reputation. And so the the idea is for Carl Jung is that we should have keep both of these parts. We should keep both the good and the evil, and then maybe the important concept is that we use and apply these parts of our aspects in certain manners. And an example I would say is that, well, I guess here, let me go into the rebuttal because this kind of segues into one another. So, a potential rebuttal I would see to this discussion is that somebody would say we should not be evil or do evil acts or anything like that. And to that, I would respond and say they're they're right. And but however, the important nuance is that the evil parts of us are potential to do evil. It's not evil in of itself. It's like you have the ability, you have the potential to do evil. But if you do it or don't do it really depends on the person. It depends on if you do it and how you implement it and stuff. So from the way that I look at it and think about it is that the evil aspects of us are things like malice and aggression and competition, and how these are implemented will change the circumstances of whether they're evil acts or not. So, an analogy would be if someone comes up and they try to physically assault you or attack you. If your evil parts come out, your shadow, as maybe Carl Jung would say, if that part comes out, you would be very aggressive, you would be competitive, you would fight them back, and you would defend yourself. That wouldn't be evil. It's the evil parts of you coming out, but not in an evil manner, if that makes sense. It's like you're that part of you, the part that can fight, the part that's aggressive, the part that wants to compete and win and destroy. It's sometimes a depending on the circumstances, is a good thing. Like if you're defending yourself, you don't want to be quote unquote good. You don't want to be passive or kind to somebody. If someone's physically attacking you, you have to defend yourself. And so it's like you can't be kind or nice and soothe like a rabid dog that's attacking you. Like you have to bring out those like dark parts of you that wants to compete and wants to fight and protect yourself. And then so I think that's what essentially Carl Jung is kind of getting at here, is that he doesn't want to be good. He doesn't want to be exclusively one thing. He wants to be everything, but he wants to be both the good parts and the evil parts of him. And it's probably a very like functional thought process about it, right? He may be thinking, okay, if we are born this way and we have good parts of us and then we have evil parts of us, it can kind of go one or two ways. It's like our goal on Earth is either to find out what the good is in us and somehow eliminate or remove the evil from us, or the other way that it goes is that we have both good and evil in us, and we need to figure out how to use the good in a good way, and we have to find out how to use the evil in also a good way. And then so it's like a functional kind of understanding of human beings. It's like, okay, well, these components have to exist for a reason. And so maybe these parts existing aren't necessarily bad, but how they're implemented in the circumstances of how they manifest determines whether it's good or bad. Like, and going into like another type of I guess like a side discussion is that think about all the, like the bad things that people have done in history, justifying it as good because in their mind they think it is good. Like, oh, we have to kill off a certain amount of people to help boost the economy or save our nation or something like that, and like they in their mind think that's a good thing. But taking that good and to them implementing that good in the real world in those circumstances is obviously an evil thing. So obviously the concept of like good and evil may not be a very useful thing, because how many times have people justified doing very evil, malicious, bad things, but in their mind they think they're doing what's right, they think they're doing what's good. So maybe good and evil and these words are more confusing and not very functional, not very useful when it comes to thinking about things. Because you may justify things, you may have like a misunderstanding what good and evil is. Some people do believe that being good just means following the flow of everybody else, that whatever everybody else is doing, that is automatically good, like the herd is right type of mentality. And then that if you're trying to fight or go against the major consensus or like the public, how the masses are acting in their movements, then they think you're automatically evil. But obviously that's not wrong. Obviously that is wrong. But I don't know. I guess I don't know what the percentage would be. Like how percentage of is it wrong and is it right? But there obviously are a lot of things that in the masses we do that are wrong, that are just like morally incorrect, that we should probably just change or get rid of. But that's a huge another discussion for another day. I hope you all found something useful out of this. This one was definitely a lot more rambly, and as I was talking about it, I kind of realized that the concept of like good and evil in of itself is very difficult to talk about. I feel like you'd have to write an entire essay just describing the like core definitions of what you mean and what you think good and evil and the roles and components of these things are to people. And it's complicated, it's crazy. I can kind of see like you could probably take this quote and probably make like a, I don't know, like a 50, 60 page essay trying to talk about what you think this quote means and what you think good means and what you think evil means and what you think a good implementation of good looks like and what a bad implementation of good looks like, and vice versa. And it's just it's crazy. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all had a good time. Hopefully discussion, my rambling discussion, hopefully you had fun, and hopefully it wasn't too confusing, because I think I confused myself a little bit with this discussion. All right, thank you all, have a good day, and see you in the next one.